What's up?
What's happening, Mr. Luis? Look, you got Neal. Look at Neal up there. He's got a nice shirt on today. Neal knows it. I'm Amir Rafsar, everyone's favorite California licensed attorney, and you're watching Unbillable.
Hello.
I'm not sure if I talked about it on a prior vlog, so I don't remember exactly, but I got a ticket. If you remember I guess it was for running a red light. I had made a right turn on a red light without stopping completely according to the officer. Whatever, pled guilty. Today I completed traffic school and I had to take my final exam for traffic school. And of 25 questions, I missed 3. Actually, you know what? I think I missed 4, but I misread it. So, whatever. But I missed 3. I passed. It's over. Traffic school has been completed. Put that behind me. But I wanted to share with you the question. And I think maybe we can ask the unbillies out there to answer as well. You ready for this one? All right. Under California law, a child of what year cannot be left in a car unattended? In other words, how old does your child have to be in order for you to leave them in your car unattended? And the choices are 8 and under, 7.5 and under, 7 and under, 6.5 and under, 6 and under. Those are your 5 choices: 8, 7.5, 7, 6.5, or 6. Put your answer in the comments below. I guess maybe let's say 5 days after we post this video, I'll comment the right answer so that way, I don't give it away. I know you're gonna Google it. I wasn't allowed to Google it. Don't Google it. Put your answer in the comments below. Let's see if you can get it right. I got it wrong. All right. 8, 7.5, 7, 6.5, or 6. What's your answer? 6.5.
Yeah.
6.5 or under. That's Karla's answer. I'll tell you the answer later when we're not on the camera.
Oh, come on.
He did the same thing. He did the same thing.
No, what was it?
I'm not answering. 5 days. Neal, we're gonna put you on Unbillable. Look, yeah. First of all, he's dressed for the occasion. That's for sure. Occasion. So I gotta plug Neal. Check out Neal Sells Real Estate. We'll put his Instagram. Hook him up, Luis. All right. So check this out. California has a law that you cannot leave a child unattended in a car until they reach a certain age. What age does a child have to be before they can be left unattended in a car? Is it 8, 7.5, 7, 6.5, or 6?
Oh my God, is this a trick question?
No, this is a real DMV question. I had to do traffic school, and I got this one wrong. I passed the test and all. I'm fine, but I got this question wrong, so I'm going around and asking other people. How old does a child have to be before they can be left unattended in a car?
I would say as old as possible, but 6.
6.
I'm gonna take 6.
All right, that's Neal's answer. We had 6.5 from Karla. I think Luis, you said 7, and now we have 6 from Neal. We'll find out the answer in a few days. One more thing we need to talk about, because on the last episode, I did the whole big eyebrows thing, talking about how I was going to be the auctioneer. Hopefully there's some cell phone footage you can cut into this and you can show. Surprisingly, I actually kind of pulled this off. I was impressed with myself. You know what? Rather than toot my own horn, let's just say the following. I'm comfortable public speaking, okay? Like, I'm okay with this. Like, even this camera situation, at first I was more uncomfortable than I am today. Obviously, with practice, you get a little bit better at it. But I'm okay comfortable with public speaking, right? So, auctioneering involves one aspect of public speaking, getting up in front of people. That part I was cool with. The part I was uncomfortable about was being an auctioneer. Like, that is a job. I've never done that before. Like, I've joked around like all of you have and been like, I got 50, 75. But like, you can't actually do that. Like, you're not going to be able to just be like in the middle. You're going to have to, I don't know, figure out what an auctioneer does. And so what's awesome about this moment is part of the reason I have the YouTube vlog is because in my personal life, I turn to YouTube more and more to like solve problems and answer questions that I have. You know, kind of the obvious one I talk about all the time in my own personal life is setting the alarm. Like, whenever there's a new employee and we have to set a new alarm code and delete an old alarm code, I can never remember like where the brochure or whatever instruction manual is. I mean, where would I even put such a thing, right? So I pull it up on YouTube and it's amazing, and every time I forget, and YouTube is there to remind me exactly how to do it. And so we had the deadbolt challenge. That's something we actually had a vlog episode about. Similarly, YouTube was kind of a good tool to help me figure out, make sure I was doing things the right way. So where did I turn? Here. how to become an auctioneer, I turned to YouTube, and I actually found a couple clips that gave some tips on how to be, I didn't mean to make that rhyme right there, but that gave a couple tips and instructions on how to be an auctioneer. And in a weird way, like adrenaline took over, and next thing you know, we were like firing out like we've been an auctioneer, and it went pretty well, if I do say so myself. I was happy with it. Maybe that's a better way to say it. I was proud of my performance, and to be honest, there's not that many situations these days where I put myself out there where I actually get nervous. Like, I'm pretty careful about like saying yes to things I want to do because I'm comfortable doing them. This was something where I was voluntold. You know, other people kind of pushed me into doing it, and I just kind of, all right, fine, I'll do it. And next thing you know, like we're auctioneering off, 2 passes to Stagecoach, a 7-night stay in Big Bear, a 7-night stay in Mexico. I mean, it was a lot of fun. We had a really good time. Parking spaces at the school, which like go for a lot more money than you'd ever suspect, and just things like that. I mean, it was a really good time. I had a really good time, and most importantly, we raised a bunch of money. Raised a bunch of money for the school. And I should take a moment and say the following, because I don't really give my man who makes Unbillable that many kudos. So hopefully you won't cut this out, Luis. You made an outstanding video for Washington Charter School, and it really hit home and drove the point of what we were raising money for, which were these large format display screens. If you want to find out more of what they are, Google that or whatever. But the point being, though, that you did a great job, Luis, and it really helped out. It helped me, obviously, give people a reason to donate, and you're gonna help like all those kids. Like, I don't know, man, feel good tonight thinking that you not only help the kids that are there today, but like for generations, man. Those screens are gonna be there for years and years and years. Think about how long those like chalkboards have been up on the walls or whatever, the pen boards or the Elmo or any of those things. They're all gonna get replaced by this. How long do you think they're gonna keep that? A long time. And like, it's fun to think that we played our part in that. So I had a good time being the auctioneer. I was stoked on being able to help raise that money, and I appreciate you, dude. I appreciate
Thanks,
you, man. Big things. We got some big things in the works, and I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. Episode 81. Like it. Hello. All right. So we have a lot of things that we can talk about. What I want to talk about today is if you get a judgment. If you have a judgment, a lot of people I talk about recording a lien. You can record a judgment lien on someone's property. I've talked about this in a prior episode. I have a situation, I have a case. When I first moved into this building, I'm going to kind of share a little story. It's story time here on Unbillable. And literally, this is driven by like what's going on in the office right now. So when I first moved into this building, into this office space, I think Afsar Law Group was, I'm going to say about 18 months old, about a year and a half maybe at most. I'd been my own practice at that point, and we moved into the smallest space in the building, actually downstairs. Maybe I'll go with you and have you get some B-roll of the tiny little space. But it's a small little spot in the building, a great little spot. It's where I started as far as in this building, Afsar Law Group's experience here. And one day I was walking to the bathroom and I ran into a lady in the building, and she kind of introduced herself. We'll leave names out obviously to protect the innocent and the not so innocent. But she introduced herself and was very nice, kind of welcomed me to the building, asked me what kind of law I practiced. At that point, like, I wasn't really dialed in. I as I like to say, I practiced whatever law was going to help pay the electric bill. Right? I needed clients, I needed business at that point still. So I kind of said, hey, what kind of lawyer are you looking for? Maybe that'll solve the question. And she told me she had this judgment, and she was kind of thinking of like letting it go, didn't really know what to do with it, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, I'm not a collection attorney, but I'll take a look at it. And so she gave it to me, and I realized it was about to expire. So from the date you get a judgment, you have to renew that judgment. In other words, you have to, reconfirm your interest in collecting the money due under the judgment every 10 years. And so I think she was at maybe like let's just say like a little bit more than 9-year point. And so we renewed that judgment for her. And it was a tiny little job, a tiny little thing that we did. Obviously, you fast forward, we've been in this building, I think like 8 years now. I mean, wow. Yeah, like 8.5 years now. And she's still in the building as well, and we still chit-chat all the time. We are still friends. We still do some work together here and there. And then out of nowhere, I'm contacted because that judgment we renewed way back when, 8 years ago, has now been triggered as they're selling a property that it attached to, and so that lien is getting paid. And you can imagine that's a fun time for me, getting to go and tell the client, like, hey, remember this thing we did 8 years ago? Well, today, it pays. So that was fun. So that whole conversation and everything took place, a little while ago, but the checks came today. And you never celebrate anything until you get the money in the hands. And so today was money in the hand day. That was a fun stop off before we went to lunch. But What does that mean for you, Unbillies? I mean, it means a couple things. I think you can take a couple things from this episode. Number one, put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. You don't have to be an auctioneer in order to be an auctioneer. The funny thing is, like, I don't know if this whole vlog takes the law practice down, which it's not going to. But if it were to, at least I know I have a plan B now. AFSAR Auctioneer Group is ready to fire our way as needed and raise money for your cause. So, hit me in the comments below. No, I'm playing. But I'm not playing. It's like, you got to put yourself out there to know like you could actually expand and do kind of bigger and better things. Interestingly enough, kind of like what we do with this vlog here as well. And then number 2 and B is be patient. Play the patient game. You know what I mean? Like this client had this judgment. They were ready to like give up on it and walk away from it, but instead they played the patient game. And yeah, they sat back. Of course, it's not the most aggressive tool to collect your money. I admit that. But if you don't want to spend money pursuing it, if you want to be patient and hang out and lay back, you get 10% interest per year on a judgment in California. So she was getting 10%. I mean, again, not actively receiving anything, but kind of biding her time. And when that property came up for sale, escrow caught the lien, and now she's getting paid. It's all about being patient. So put yourself out there, be patient. Don't forget to comment, how old should a child be when they're left in the car alone? Not should be, illegal, legal standard, right? What does the state say a child's age must be before you can leave them in the car unattended? And put that in the comments below. And of course, like this episode, subscribe, hit notifications so that you get notified when we put up new episodes like this. Again, shout out to my man Luis, doing an excellent job, not only with this, but with all the things we got going on, the Cancer Society, Washington Charter School. Man, you're doing big things, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate you, everybody, for watching this. And with that, we'll see you on the next episode of Unbillable.